Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
There's a term that's been trending for the last week or so, and it's toxic mom group. And it started with some celebrities. I know you've seen it, Sam.
Yeah, Ashley Tisdale.
Ashley Tisdale wrote a blog and published a blog about leaving my toxic mom group. And because she's a celebrity, people logged on right away to see what group was she in, because she's in, L.A. along with a lot of other famous moms. And sure enough, they found quickly that a mom group that she was a part of also included Hillary Duff. It also included Mandy Moore, and it also included Meghan Trainor.
That sounds like a fun mom group there to me.
Oh, I know it does. It does.
It was apparently.
But I'm going to tell you, when I read the term toxic mom group, I had a ting. I had a twinge, because I'm going to tell you from a mom perspective of me, Murph, you sort of knew about some of this stuff, but it just as my ear, I would come home and tell you things. It only happened a couple of times, but when you are a woman and you decide to have a family and you're a first-time mom, you don't know this is going to happen. You don't know it's coming, because number one, hopefully you feel like you're an adult, you're grown up, and you think you've left all of that behind you in junior high and high school. And I remember the first
what behind
drama.
You? Oh.
Drama, girl clique drama. The first thing that ever happened to me, and I just bring it up for anybody in this position with this thought. If you're new and you're a new mom, when you meet, the way I went about it, I would meet these moms who had children my same age, and I was like, oh, wow, thank God.
We've got something in common.
We have something in common, and this is the most important thing to me in the world that I'm good at, and you are dealing with the same things, and, we have this in common. And I remember thinking, we're grown-ups now. Certainly, this is going to work. And I remember the first time it didn't, I couldn't believe it. And this is the daycare story. I remember it very well because I couldn't believe it. I was standing in the parking lot going, did that just happen? And it was a tiny thing, but, I was working, Murphy. Taylor was very young. I probably was either pregnant also with Phoebe, and they were having a Valentine's Day party in the preschool, in the thing, it was the day of the Valentine's Day party. So the night before, even though I was tired and I was working and, life, I stayed up and made little Valentine candy pops. Like, they were heart-shaped. I made them out of the pink chocolate, and they had little sticks on them.
You made them from scratch.
I made them from scratch.
Wow.
Taylor helped me pour. In my brain, she needed to be a part of this, because surely she was going to remember it. No, she didn't remember any of that. But you remember I made those and I brought those? And I got up the next morning at 3:00 in the morning and came and did the show and did all the things. 5-6 hours later, I go to the school and drop them off. And there was a mom leaving, and she said, oh, somebody's got time on her hands.
Oh.
And I stood there going, I couldn't believe it. I almost said, I'm sorry, Are we in junior high? I didn't say that to her, though. I just made note of it that, okay, we're not going to be friends. I remember telling myself, I'm not going to be friends with her. Maybe she didn't mean it. Maybe, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter.
No lollipop for her.
But I can tell you, I know who she is. I knew who she was as our kids were growing up, and she and I never became friends because I never opened the door again, because it just rubbed me the wrong way. That was one tiny little incident. But then, as the girls grew up, I never forgot that. And I thought, wow, just because you're an adult, everybody there is not your friend. You need to be careful as you start. I felt like that. I was naive when I was a new mom, Murphy, and I thought, all these moms here, yay, our kids are in the same class.
I think that's human nature.
That way.
That's what you would want to think.
I think I was gullible.
I guess it's like anything else. Circumstances don't necessarily turn into friendships.
Correct.
If if you're lucky enough to work with people who you're friends with, then that's a gift, because it doesn't work for everybody, right? I mean, it's the whole proximity thing doesn't necessarily mean that you're a match for each other for friendships.
And here's another story.
And so what brought you together was really just motherhood is what brought everybody together.
But geography, we were the same daycare.
The same daycare, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing that jumps out at me about the mom group, and I hope that you're never a part of a toxic mom group, you just have to learn to trust yourself and do what's right for your child, not just for you, but for your child. And this is where this is where it got difficult for me and a little dicey for me, was that our youngest had a very good friend that she loved, her best friend. She loved her so much. And so whatever that girl did, Phoebe wanted to do. And that child, she's a lovely girl. She was part of a mom group of all the moms who didn't work. I was the only mom who worked, and I missed a lot of things. And because I missed a lot of things, they didn't do it intentionally, but they would not invite me because they got to where they were like, oh, she's working with the guys, this morning. So, or whatever, I would not be invited. And eventually Phoebe would go, wait, why are we not doing this? And you have to, it's like stepping on landmines because you don't want to be like, why am I not invited? You don't want to call and say, why am I not invited? So instead you start inviting. You reach out. Hey, you want to hang out? Phoebe would love a play date, this weekend. It's just it's a trippy place to be.
Yeah.
I remember being, and that's why I would sometimes leave work in a mad rush and drive across town to join them for a field trip and show up. And those moms had been there an hour already. And I'm like, oh, here I am with my bag lunch. And Phoebe would be surprised, but they can't know what that was like for me. Yeah. And that's not their problem that I chose to also have a career. But the mom group that I kind of got pulled into was because that was Phoebe's friend group. And all those girls were friends and all those moms were friends.
Mm-hmm.
So these mom groups happen, whether you want to or not. And it's something that's been brought to light by this Hollywood mom group.
Well, what you just said to me takes it to a different level because you've got the kids, and I don't know if that's the case for Ashley Tisdale or not, where these kids are friends or not or hanging out. But, if somebody within that mother group then says something about one of the, your child or something, that, of course, can also create its own set of nasty conversations or a riff or whatever it's going to be.
I think you have to be very trusting of your own instincts. You do what's right for your child. You want to do this for your child. You have to trust your own instincts with people, and you have to realize not everybody's your friend. We're not going to be friends. You need to. The way you imagine it is not necessarily the way it's going to go. And then in that life, you can find some of your best friends too. You can and will. And if it lines up with the friends of your kids, then you're lucky.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the kids that your friends choose are not the parents and adults that you would choose. But you do it for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a perk when it becomes a true friendship. But,
it doesn't happen every day.
Airing it out on social media is not going to help with any sort of reconciliation.
I know.
Not that she's looking for reconciliation.
Yeah, I mean, the adult thing to me to do, address it with whoever privately. If the group ain't working for you, just
slowly
leave the group.
Move yourself out of the group.
Find another group or whatever.
Yeah. I was surprised that she blogged about it, but then she has a right to blog about it if she wants to. And I think with her blog, there was some nice advice for other moms who are in a situation where they feel like they're slowly being left out, being treated a certain way that they think is maybe mean or whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, your feelings get hurt, even, whether it's intended by the other, part of the group or not.
Correct.
Your feelings get hurt, and that makes it raw and, difficult to deal with. And it is exaggerated by the fact when you've got more than one person who is part of the problem because you do feel ganged up on.
Yes.
Which is like the old clique.
It's horrible. I will tell you something else that exaggerates it is there's nothing more tender or vulnerable than you and being a parent. Mm-hmm. It's like, take a stab at me all day long, but please don't let it affect my child. I never wanted our kids to be left out of something because of something I did, or you know what I mean? So I would hang out and do things I didn't want to do just because so that she could have. And there's nothing also more that brings out the mama bear more than being a parent. It brings out the mama bear, and the mama bears are what's going to those toxic mom groups, even the famous mama bears. And by the way, I don't think we'll ever really know. I know that Meghan Trainor finally posted something on TikTok about it, like maybe a day or two ago, but she was just funny about it. She was, me just realizing there's toxic mom group drama.
Yeah, and I didn't know that there was such a thing as a toxic mom group. I didn't realize.
Course.
I mean, I understand the dynamic you're talking about, but
there's
never heard
toxic
it called that.
workplace groups. There's toxic, whatever, cliques in high school and things like that. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about it because I've been there too in my own ways, and no two moms experience it the same way.
Yeah.
But pretty sure all moms experience it in one way or another.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.